Today, we're going to talk about 5 marketing expenses that you shouldn't be cheap on. So, building on the last episode, the number one thing that you shouldn't be cheap on is when you're hiring talent. Okay. Neil and I have learned this over the years. Trying to nickel and dime to save a few extra bucks is just not worth it at the end of the day. If someone knows what they're doing, they know what they're worth, and you should just pay it, if not pay them a little more. Because if you want a good job done, you pay the people that know what's going on. So the analogy I've used in the past is if you're going to hire someone to redesign your home, or I guess even more extreme, if you're going to hire someone to do surgery on you, you want to have someone that's a specialist that's done it a lot, because it's a very high stakes type of thing. And if you decide to go cheap, this is broad across the board, you know what? You're going to have to pay the price for that long term, because the time that you lose is actually more expensive than the dollars that you're trying to save. Neil?
Number 2, branding. In marketing, everyone thinks about ROI. Spend $1, how much more I'm going to make? I want people to start thinking about, I spend $1, my right audience may seize me. They may not buy from me. That's okay. In the long run, I'm building a brand. When you think about products that you buy on a regular basis, from toothpaste to toothbrushes to toilet paper, a lot of it's related to brand, even things like your laundry detergent. Even when you buy things that are infrequent, like a car, you're not always Googling best car to buy, 4-door sedan. More so, you're just like, I want a BMW, I want a Mercedes. A lot of that is related to branding. So don't be cheap on branding.
Yeah. Number 3, we talked about events in the last episode. I think going cheap on events is actually going to hurt you quite a bit. So when I say events, I could mean a small dinner, or even hosting a larger event with 50, 150 people, or thousands of people. Neil and I have spoken to a lot of different conferences around the world, and we've both been to conferences where they go cheap on it. And you can tell when they go cheap on it, it actually becomes a conversation, and it actually hurts the brand. To Neil's point, talking about brand. When you think about conferences, don't try to go cheap. Make sure it's an amazing experience, not just on the speakers and the networking side. You have to make sure the entire thing is top notch. Same thing for dinners too, right? If you're going to invite people to a dinner, what I would recommend personally is, if you're able to afford it, you gather the people and you just cover the bill, and make sure it's a private room. And that's going to already be an amazing event, because you're putting together and you're paying people, or you're paying for the meal. I've been to dinners before where it's not exactly the best feeling when I get invited to a dinner and then I'm asked, it's not like I can't pay for it, but when I'm asked to pay for it and we're asked to all take our credit cards out, it's not exactly the best experience. So don't try to go cheap, because people will actually talk about it, and it's actually going to have a negative effect long-term on your brand.
Number 4, content is king. I recommend that you produce a lot of content. And what you'll find is, in marketing, producing blog content, social media content, the videos, the audio content like podcasts, it's really hard to track the ROI and generate a massive return on it, at least in the short run. But the thing is, you're building that community. The future of marketing is owning your audience. Kylie Jenner didn't end up creating $1 billion company because she created a makeup. I think was it makeup or lipstick? Either way, it was a beauty brand. And she didn't do it by creating the beauty brand. She did it by building an audience and then leveraging the audience to sell products. If she created the company first and then her brand after, it wouldn't have done well. She had to build an audience first. Audiences are worth the arm and a leg. So create the content so you can build an audience.
Yeah. Number 5, last but not least, this one you have to be a little careful with, but obviously you don't want your software expenses to compound uncontrollably. So you want to be managing it. You can use a tool like Brex, that's brex.com, or you can use ramp.com to manage employee expenses as one, kind of shut things down on and off. But what I found over the years is trying to go cheap on critical marketing software. So it might be like a CRM is not exactly the best move, because the CRM actually provides a lot of value. So I think if you're starting out, yes, absolutely. Let's just use CRM as an example. Use a Pipedrive or use something for free, right? That can be, even use a spreadsheet. But as you get bigger and bigger, actually shelling out the dollars to pay for like a HubSpot or like even an Active Campaign as an example, they're becoming a CRM. That's going to actually pay off for you, because you look at it as, are you getting a 4x, 5x, 10x return from this? So again, if it's critical software, don't try to go cheap on it. I'd say for other software, make sure you cut ruthlessly. So you got to be careful there. That is it for today. Marketingschool.io/live. That's LIVE to learn about our virtual event and our live event. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. It would really help us. Neil we really love you just a little bit more. All right. Even though we already love you. So that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.